Okay. Hi, everyone. I am going to just start with some announcements, I guess. You could say they're announcements before I let Kristen and Jackie take over. Just wanted to make sure y'all knew that Super Saturday is this coming Saturday. So if you want to get to it, I know the Rochester one is sold out, but I do think that they're taking like backup reservations. So if you wanted to get there, make sure that you get on the wait list. I know there's a lot of you in Tampa, so if you wanted to, I know Rhonda just posted a link for that one on her Facebook page, so go ahead and check that out. And then if you're having a hard time finding other areas, let me know. I have the Emerald training that's starting October 19th, and it's going to be a $3 buy-in. I know that a couple other teams had some really great success with that. So if you are on the call and you're not an Emerald, I'm really going to highly recommend it. I'm not using the standard Emerald training. It's all going to be from me. So hopefully it'll be good. It may be more personal. And I'm going to match anyone who puts their $3 in. I'll drop that into the pot. And I think most diamond uplines or other uplines are offering the match too if people on their team are going in. So maybe it'll be a big pot by the time it's done. So that starts October 19th, and it'll probably be just a week that we'll go through everything. I'm going to do a sneak peek again on, I wrote down the wrong date. There's no way I was going to do it November 19th. November 9th will be the next 3-day sneak peek. Trying to decide if I start it on the 9th or the 10th, but it'll be during that week. It'll be just 3 days. I think 3 days it's better than 5. It gets too drawn out with 5. And when I do those, make sure that you're following up with your people that you put in there at the end of the week, or even sporadically throughout, check in with them, see how if they've been checking it out. And then the best thing I could say is interact on the posts that I put in there, because then it's more likely to show up on their Facebook, feed. So make sure you're interacting in there as well. I just wanted to shout out my girls who are in the Diamond group. You all are doing a great job. I know it was hard stuff, but I've been really excited to see the growth from the people who are really pushing. So I'm really proud of you all who are in there. There's quite a few, and it's so hard that the other coach that I teamed up with, her girls aren't doing it. They've kind of dropped out. So it just says a lot that, the girls that I have in there are really doing a great job with it. So thank you for participating and trusting me with it all, because I know it's hard stuff. I'm trying to decide. Oh, there we go. It's okay. Make sure you mute yourself if you're not talking yet. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a What is Coaching webinar on our own. I am happy to do it, but if I feel like we're not going to have everyone at least invite a couple people, I don't know if it's worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? Y'all go. So I want you to really think about it, and I want you each to message me, over the next day, because I'm happy to do one, but I want to know if you feel like it would be better, having one just for our team, or if you're still good just throwing your people in Megan's. And it's not always going to be me doing it with her. I think Stephanie's doing it next week with her. Yes, page is still up. Stephanie's doing it next week with her, and Andrea does them sometimes. So I'm happy to do one. I just want to make sure that you all think that would be valuable. I would probably ask one of you to do it with me. So, if you're feeling compelled to team up, let me know. The next team call I'm going to do on the October 25th. And I'm really going to focus on inviting to paid challenges. Everything from going from the free challenge to the paid, to exactly the wording of what I say when I'm inviting somebody, because I think that I think some people are struggling with that transition. So that's going to be my focus for the next one. So get that on your calendar. And I'm doing a leadership call for Emerald and above coaches on October 28th. And I haven't decided what I'm going to talk about yet. So don't ask me. So today, Kristen Ray and Jackie Hamilton, right? Is Jackie on? I haven't. Okay, hopefully she's on there somewhere. Yeah, there she is. Are going to talk about free challenges outside of the 5-day. I know you all, I push the 5-day clean eating group because they are effective if you do them. If you follow the steps and procedures we have in place, they're very effective. But if you are following those steps perfectly and you're feeling like you're kind of dried up and you're not getting new people, I do think that this is a valid option for, I still think that the 5 days should be done, but to integrate into, your monthly rotation every so often. Kristen and Jackie had tremendous success this past month, where they were maybe feeling a little frustrated with 5 days. And I think they were looking for something different. And I am so excited to hear what they have to say about how they actually made this, this squat and water challenge a valuable free clean eating challenge, and how they even got some coaches from it and Success Club points. So I'll just introduce Kristen. She is a diamond coach on our team. I'm sure most of you know that. She has consistently hit Success Club every single month since she's joined. She's a success starter. Jackie teamed up with her. She's one of Kristen's coaches, and she's an Emerald coach, and really jumped back into coaching and is doing a phenomenal job. So I just want to shout you both out for that. So I'm going to mute myself and let you take over. Thanks for talking tonight, girls.
Thanks, Jen. So I'm going to start, and Jackie's going to chime in when needed, or if anybody wants other information. So to back up a little bit, on my team page, Holly, who's also on the call tonight, put out a post about this squat and water challenge that somebody else had put on. And Jackie and I were thinking of ways of how to get Jackie to Success Club 5. So ultimately, it was brainstorming, what can we add to our routine that might be a little bit different to make that happen? And so we are not the people who came up with the idea. We just decided to utilize it. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we did and how it really has changed our business in the last month just by doing it. We added it in, so it was an additional challenge. It was not our 5-day challenge. We still did our 5-day challenges. But what it did was Jackie and I were on average having, what would you say, Jackie, like 25, maybe 30 people joining our combined clean eating challenge group. So not a ton. I mean, I think one month I had 50, but like for the most part, it was like that 30 range. We had over 150 people in this squat and water challenge. And so even, and our whole thing was that even if it did not create a paid challenger after the fact, it got us that number of contacts. So I think in the first, like say 24 hours of creating my squat and water challenge event, I think I added 46 new contacts in 24 hours. And then just as an aside, many of them did then go on to my next clean eating challenge. So I'm going to kind of back up about how we started it and how we went through it, and then that transition to how they became paid challengers. I'm offering this right now so that I don't forget. At the end of this, anybody who's interested in me adding you to our squat and water challenge, which is now done, but so that you could weed back through and look at what we did, even copy our posts if you choose to do something similar, just let me know. I'd be happy to add anybody to that. Copy my wording, copy our pictures, I could care less. So, but what we did is we created an invite just like we would a 5-day and made it public. And just like when you're creating your invite for your 5-day clean eating challenge, we made sure to interact on our event. We made it clear that it was the event, but interacted on our event so that it kept on coming up. And that's important, both your 5-day clean eating challenges, but also in this kind of, actually any event you do. So if you do a paid challenge or whatnot, the more you interact on your event itself and have people interact on your event, the more likely that you it's coming up, people are seeing it. So, and then also I always do this is at some point when I've moved everybody from the event over to the paid challenge, I announce on the event that this has taken place. It's just one more way to get people seeing that. Once we opened our squat and water challenge, you think like, okay, great. It's a water challenge, whoop-de-doo, and it's a squat challenge. Doesn't seem like a lot, but we had pretty specific guidelines. So our guidelines for our squat and water challenge were a specific number of squats in the group, and they started out at 50 and increased by 5 per day, and there were a rest day because it was a lengthier challenge. We recommended just water for the week. So it wasn't add water in, but keep drinking your coffee and your wine or your soda. It was eliminate your other beverages and focus purely on water. And we did still say, 1 cup of black coffee. So just like our clean eating ones, we encouraged people to do the before and after pics and measurements so that they could see what kind of difference it made. Although there was no healthy eating requirements for our group, we focused on it. Like we touched base on it here and there. We let people know in posts what clean eating meant. And that's it. We didn't give any recipes, but let people know what clean eating meant. We let people know that if you're somebody who's exercising and not seeing the results you want to see, you may want to improve your nutrition versus, incorporating reduced portions or eating clean. So throughout the challenge, we kept making these little hints at the importance of clean eating, even though we weren't providing a menu or a recipe. As all of you know, the larger your group, the more interaction you have. And so the first day we actually giggled. The Monday morning that it started, I think by the time Jackie and I have preschool drop-off together. And so we see each other at 8 o'clock in the morning. And by 8 o'clock, we were already ready to turn our notifications off. It was like 60 people had already said, we've got our water started and we've got our squats in. I swear everybody who took a sip of water let us know, which can seem a little annoying, but at the same time, that interaction is exactly what accountability group's all about. So people were so excited about completing their 50 squats, way more than clean eating ever. Because there was nothing to complain about. There was no complaining about prep. There was no complaining about, I don't eat tomatoes or mushrooms. So the negative stuff that we occasionally have during our 5-day challenges was eliminated. So it was purely just enjoyable fun.
It was kind of nice for us too. Sorry, Kristen.
No, go ahead. Good.
Because it made it where we didn't feel like we had to post all the time. The group was kind of running itself. You had everybody motivating each other, and they were really into it. It was nice.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love clean eating challenges. I live for them. But this was just totally different. And when we all get frustrated in our business and we all get overwhelmed here and there. So to have a challenge that ran itself with 150 people just was kind of a breath of fresh air where you didn't feel overwhelmed. Where in some challenge groups that have 150 people in them are pretty intimidating. And this wasn't at all. We still we did mini challenges every 2 to 3 days just to keep people interacting. We didn't ever have anybody not interacting, but just to ensure. So little things like squat selfie, water selfie, bragging right, like post on your personal page what you're up to and tag us so we know you're doing it. So we had mini challenges every 2 to 3 days. And
it was 10 days long, Lisa.
Yeah. It was 10 days. Sorry. Thanks, Jackie. And we had a daily check-in. And even though it was just a squat and water challenge, we had them let us know if they did their squats, if they worked out above and beyond their squats. And during the guidelines, we had said, don't let this squat challenge replace your other exercise. Have it be in addition to what you're already doing. So if you're somebody who is a runner and you run a certain amount per day, add it on. So we had them comment on their squats and also their exercise. We had them comment on how clean they ate that day. And I realize that not everybody knows what that even means. but we let people know that we were a source if that was something that interested them. We had them comment on their ounces of water, and then anything else, any other comments or realizations. The same kind of check-in you would typically do. And I'm sure many of you are doing this, but maybe not. Facebook is so nice now that when we do our check-ins, you can reply to each individual comment, versus when I started coaching, that's not the way that it was, and you had to tag every person. So we were able to go back and provide that like virtual high five to every person along the way and kind of keep it going. And having said that, so we did our 10-day water challenge. It started on a Monday, but we actually had a 5-day clean eating challenge starting the following Monday. So what happened was that we were giving people all of these little snippets of what does clean eating mean and what does healthy nutrition mean. And if you are interested in learning more about that, we're here to help you. And then we advertised for our 5-day clean eating challenge. So many people then went from one to the next and became challenges in our clean eating challenge. On the second to last day of our clean eating challenge, our squat challenge, I believe it was towards the end of the month. So we wanted some of our squat people to become paid challengers to ensure that Jackie and I both reached our goals for the month. And so we advertised for our longer challenge in the group. And Jackie had 0 Success Club points going into the squat and water challenge and hit Success Club 5. So we were able to get, and I hit my goals last month. So we were able to transition this. And what we did is that when people were like, you're approaching the end of the challenge and like, oh my gosh, can't you keep doing this for us? There it was, the fact that we were doing a longer challenge. And there was more than one person who said, can't we extend for another week or two? And we just ignored those comments. And yeah, we could, but it made it, we had something else. There was the alternate was already available. And I'll tell you that I am now at the point in my coaching that I don't ever feel guilty about offering a paid challenge to anybody. And I feel like there's so much to offer that with confidence, when somebody says, I really want to continue with you, I feel very comfortable giving them a 21-day challenge as the option. And so we did. Jackie, you signed 2 coaches at the end of last month?
I did.
In Hit Success Club 5. And you have another one that's signing tomorrow that did not do the clean. And mind you, of the coaches signed and the one that's signing tomorrow, none of them did your 5-day clean eating challenge. All of them were from just the squat challenge.
Yes.
And I think I sold 4 challenge packs. I think I sold 4 challenge packs and signed 1 coach off of our squat challenge. So we were able to, like I said, we kept on putting out those bullets of how it's helpful and the accountability and why that's great. And then they only had a bit and piece. They had no menu. I mean, there's no menu. So you know how sometimes you have challengers that do 5-day clean eating challenge, 5-day clean eating challenge, 5-day clean eating challenge, and you feel like they're just taking your menus and then they're adding it up. We didn't even give them those. So we were worried. We knew that we were going to get contacts out of this, but we didn't know that we were going to get challengers. And I think that the reason that we got them, besides the fact that, you're still providing accountability, so you're still providing some value, it also was that they weren't getting the nutrition aspect until they did the paid challenge. So I think that was key. And so I think everybody bought 21-day fix, I believe, or close to it, or 90%, because it gave them then that nutrition information and portion control as their follow-up to doing the squat challenge. We finished up our challenge with a survey, just like a Google Doc, just like a lot of us are doing on our challenges. But in it, I feel like using that Google Doc to have people reflect is so helpful for us and for them. So we asked questions such as pounds lost and weight, inches lost. But then it was, do you feel like because of this challenge you drank more water than you would have otherwise? Do you feel like you exercised more than you would have exercised otherwise? If we were to have another challenge in the future, or I should say that when, I think it said when we have future challenges, would you like us to contact you for them? Suggestions for future challenges. But point being that I feel like that survey is so important that even if somebody hasn't already decided that they're going to do a 21 day, when they fill out that survey, when their brain starts thinking like, oh my goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for this group, or I wouldn't have exercised or drank that water or stuck with it without the group. I think it's so important to show them that there's so much value in doing it as a group, that yeah, we can exercise on our own, and yeah, people can get healthy on their own all the time, but doing it with a group is so much more enjoyable than just doing it on your own. So
what was really great too is that people really saw results too.
Really
and
good.
We didn't give them any recipes, nothing. Just from drinking the water and doing the squats, and it was amazing. People, we had one lady say that her headaches were gone. We had another one say that she was sleeping better, and lots of pounds and inches, actually.
I think our highest pound was 9 pounds lost.
Yeah.
But we had like a 9, a handful of 8, 7s, and there were a couple that were 0 pounds lost, but they were like, I ate my donuts and so they didn't hone in on nutrition at all. But most certainly they, people saw results. So I feel like I don't think that it's the way that we need to stop doing clean eating challenges. So I'm not encouraging that at all. But I do think that if you're feeling like you want to switch things up in your business, it's definitely an alternate. I know people have done other challenge groups. And I think it's all about making sure that no matter what you're doing as your free group, you are helping people see the value in the reason that we're doing it as a group.
Can you share the dates exactly for when you did the 5-day, or when you did your 10-day, your 5-day, and then your 21-day?
I can. I'm looking them up because I don't have them memorized, but I have them right here. So we did our squat and water challenge started September 21st, and it ran 10 days. So some reflection though, Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong. In the future, I might do like a 7-day. I don't know that I need to do a 10-day. It wasn't a lot of work though, so a 10-day was fine. It really was there was no prep. It was Jackie did a water post of the importance of water. We did a check-in daily, and we did an introductory morning post. And then it was everybody else through the day. So it was maybe 3 posts, maybe 4 posts a day. Because actually I tend to do an evening, like, way to be, you did a great job today. So there was probably 4 posts total between the two of us. But okay, back to Jen's question. So water challenge started on the 21st. My 5-day clean eating challenge, or our 5-day clean eating challenge, started on the 28th of September. And then our 21-day starts tomorrow. So October 12th.
So she's still following the proper calendar for the 5.
So my 5-day starts on a Monday. My 21-day starts 2 weeks later. And that was the one thing that was nice about doing 10 days, is because it still made that gap from the end of our squat challenge to now being a reasonable distance. And what it allowed was last week I've been doing August. I think I did 4 different challenge groups between all the groups that Jen and I did. But this month I still had 3 groups, but I had this past week with not a single group. So I was really able to kind of prep and coach and everybody that's entering my 21-day group, which I don't know that I've been able to do so well in the past. But I also was able to keep interacting with people. So it was so nice to have that week. But yes, I followed all the same other guidelines, Jen. Everything that Jen has taught me.
I think it's super important too that we did keep the 5-day, the clean eating in there too.
I agree.
It was just nice to do something a little bit different. We gained all those contacts, and friends were inviting friends. And actually the girl that I'm signing tomorrow, I have no idea who she was until the squat challenge. So, but yeah, it's nice to, Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, throwing in the nutrition and everything, because a lot of those people did end up on the 5-day too. So.
Well, I would imagine that you get people, I think that sometimes the 5-day scares people away. You know, they open up that grocery list and they're like, oh my goodness, you know, there's all these ingredients I've never heard of. It's expensive if they're totally eating unclean to begin with. I don't eat this, and this. So, you know, all those people that you would lose because of those reasons.
Or even they're single. I mean, people who are cooking for just themselves, it eliminates, there's no fear because you're not losing anything. There's absolutely no cost. So when we say free 5-day, yes, it's free because it doesn't cost anything to join, but there's still an expense to do the 5-day clean eating challenge versus this was, I mean, you can do squat obviously anywhere. And we really still tried to make it a really personal, group. So like even though I know most people know how to do a squat, I did that squat demonstration video at the very beginning showing proper technique. Yes, my head's cut off during the entire thing, but it's probably for the best. But point being, we still tried to make it a really personal, we did not daily videos, but I think I did a few videos throughout the week. So, but you're right, it's totally free. So anybody who a cost is a reason for them to not join one of the other groups, they'd be more apt to join this. And I'll tell you our only criticism. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's two criticisms. One criticism, we had some people who are major athletes who said next time make it harder. But you and we all realize that you've got to cater to the masses. And some people who haven't exercised before, doing 50 squats, working up to 105 is a lot. So I guess if it was to do a squat, you could do like intermediate and advanced versions or whatnot. I mean, if you really, that worried you. The other thing was I had one person comment on being a little bit overwhelmed by the number of posts. So next, it's somebody who's done 5-day challenges. So she said, it'd be nice if you could turn your notifications off, but we all realize we want our notifications on because otherwise there's no value to be in the group if you're not getting what people are posting. I know I've gotten a lot of messages of people to add, so I will make sure to add everybody to that group. What questions does anybody have? Or Jen, do you have anything? So Jackie and I decided that when we did this, we luckily, because of when it fell, we got enough people from last month and enough people for this month. So we are not adding in a second challenge or a third challenge, however you want to look at it, this month. But we are going to be doing a Planksgiving.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanksgiving challenge, a very similar format next month.
Did you go ahead and when you posted the ad, did you go back to like your old clean eating groups when you put up the ad for your, squat and water challenge?
I actually didn't. And I always do always do that with my 5-day, like I post in my previous 5-day always, but I did not.
Okay. It just happened then.
It just happened. I mean, I really, Jackie and I decided to do it. I think it was like an afternoon brainstorming and we posted that day. I mean, we didn't even waste any time. We just created it and went with it. And I think so Jen, correct me if I'm wrong. When I started coaching, which was back in December, and when you were coaching, I used to post for a 5-day only the Tuesday before the start. Yep. And now we're all learning that creating that event a little bit sooner gives people the idea. So our squat challenge was the same thing. I think it was closer to it was over a week even prior, or maybe about a week prior to. And obviously this required no prep, but it gave us time to interact and to add more people. So we created the event quite a bit earlier than the actual challenge existed.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since it started on the 21st and it was 10 days, so it was over on the 31st.
Yes, it was.
You still were able to get your sales in and get your customers in before the end of September.
Okay, we
'Cause
were.
it seems like, ew.
We were. I had actually already met my goal. So I did this. I had already met mine prior to, but it solidified things. It was like icing on the cake. So it was great. But Jackie did. We made sure to. So in a short challenge, like a 5-day challenge, it's always risky to post about your longer challenge early because people don't have that confidence. They haven't seen the results. Our challenge was 10 days long. So we actually posted for the paid group on the 8th day, which gave people ample time to purchase if they chose to. And people already had a love for it or did not have a love for it at that point. I mean, so we posted earlier. And we did. Jackie had all of her points.
Okay. Thank you.
But you could always, you can do it earlier in the month if that made you feel more comfortable. I always like my 5-day challenges to span the first of the month because I like to get my points early in the month.
Right.
And then very often I get all my points now and then the rest of my month I get nothing. And I save them for next month.
Okay.
So
Thanks. No, it makes sense. Thank you.
So, Kristen,
yes.
do you post for your 5-day or 21-day on the 7th or 8th day? I'm sorry, on the 8th day of the water challenge. I guess you're posting for the 21-day.
21-day, yeah. We did, so it ended up that in our squat challenge, Jackie and I were in there, but actually Michelle was in there too. Michelle Harmon was in there too, Megan Eggleston's sister. And so she had a couple of her people in there. And actually one of my other downline coaches had a couple of her people in there. So I did not provide the event for my 5-day so that it did not get confusing. Because we were all obviously doing our own. So I did not post in the Squat and Water Challenge specifically about our 5-day. But yes, our 21-day we did post.
And because we had a lot of people that wanted the squat one to continue, we had a lot of people say, oh, I'm interested in this. So it just made those connections.
Yeah.
When I've spoken on other Teams calls, I've done that a few times now, that is their number one question about like when you put up events, like your next events, and they're like, well, what do you do when you put up links to order? Because I think they all must just put links for challenge packs like right in their group, which I'm like, I don't do that. What are you talking about? And so, yeah, they're shocked that I don't put up links, because they're like, well, what if you have other coaches in your group? I'm like, well, I do, but I invite them via conversation. So it's interesting because just so you all know, I think most people do put their links right up there. The only link I've ever put up would be for the Fixate cookbook or the sampler pack, which I put in like the event most of the time. But just so you all know that there are other teams out there that they just put those links right up in their groups. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, that's fine. But I often have other coaches in my group. I would feel so, I don't know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But everybody coaches differently. So
I don't think it's a good idea.
Beth says we all look tired. How's everyone's turn?
Beth, you have no idea. These squinty eyes that give it away. In fact, I went to go read my daughter a bedtime story, and she wanted a second, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm going to fall asleep, and I'm not going to make it onto this call. So,
well, if there's nothing else, I think that's it for everyone. Does anyone have questions outside of it? Thank you, girls. We appreciate you sharing. Any other questions outside of all of this? A lot to process. I think it's a great idea. I feel like I've lost a lot. You're right. I think I've lost a lot of, especially the younger clientele from being overwhelmed by the grocery list. And I've had it in my head all along to make a meal plan for like a college student kind of mindset, or like that would be someone who just graduated, but I just haven't gotten to it. So this kind of takes care of that type of person, which is cool. All right. Well, if there's ramen noodles, Beth says. Oh. Okay.
You can do the soup bowls. That's like ramen noodles, and it was good.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I mean, I have all these ideas to do things. It just doesn't always happen. Still working on that new coach document too. It's open on my desktop. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we'll sign out early. I hope you all have a great night. And of course, yeah, Kristen, add me too.
Yeah, I'll just add everybody.
Okay.
If I don't add you and you wanted me to add you, let me know.
Great.
Because I once I close this out, I'm afraid the chat's going to go away. So if I
probably will.
miss somebody, it's not intentional.
I wrote them down, Kristen.
Oh, thank you, Jackie. See?
Kristen,
All right.
I'd like it too.
Oh,
Okay. Is that Amanda saying that?
I was just confirming it. Please add me, because I did a Kaya one where I didn't require anybody. A lot of people I know had it and just weren't using it. So I was doing that, and then I did a habit one too. But I never really was able. I could never feel when it was right to put in there, continue into a different group. So I want to see how you did that. I'm interested in that.
Very cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks, girls. Have a great night. All right. Talk to you later.